Hey everybody, welcome back to the Live Life Simple Kitchen. We have a special treat for you today because we're gonna make some zucchini cheese crackers and then we're gonna freeze dry them, and we're gonna try something new in the freeze dryer today. Something new for me at least. I'm gonna try and bake in the freeze drying pans. So a pretty short shopping list today. You're just gonna need some zucchini, mozzarella cheese, Parmesan cheese, a few spices you'll have around the house, and a few eggs. Now let's get to our recipe. So today's recipe was brought to you by a Facebook user, so thank you Peggy for donating this recipe to us. I'm gonna start with 8 zucchinis. That's all my little store in town had. I'm gonna adopt my recipe for a large freeze dryer. I'm gonna see how many trays 8 zucchinis will do. You'll just need to take the ends off of the zucchinis, and then I'm actually gonna leave the skins on mine today. If you don't want the skins on, you can go ahead and peel yours. And that's all there is for prep work. We just need to shred these next. I'm gonna use my trusty salad shooter. It makes light work of that type of thing. I'm gonna shoot for 8 cups of shredded zucchini. We'll see how far that gets us. We ended up with 8 cups after 4 zucchinis, and these are not real big zucchinis. You can see that it's probably like a small to medium sized zucchini. And next we're gonna try and get all the water, or as much of the water, out of here as we can. You can either use a cheesecloth or something similar to that. I'm just gonna use a colander and try and press it down, but we're gonna wanna try and get as much moisture out of there as we can. That's gonna condense this down quite a bit. Before we add anything back into there, we're gonna preheat our oven to 375. So I'm gonna double this recipe. If you have a medium, you're probably gonna wanna cut my recipe in half. I'm gonna do 2 eggs that I'm gonna add to this. Then I'm gonna do 2/3 of a cup of Parmesan cheese, and then a cup of the mozzarella, a teaspoon of red pepper flakes, and then 1 to 2 teaspoons of garlic salt. Then we're gonna give it all a mix. And this recipe would be awesome. It would have been awesome about 2 months ago when there was just more zucchini than you knew what to do with in the garden, because usually that kind of stuff it comes in waves. So you go from 0 zucchini to more than you know what to do with, and you're just trying to figure out what to do with it. So here's a good solution for that. Now we're gonna spread this onto our freeze drying pan, and I've got some pre-cut parchment on here. Let's see how far this gets us on this pan. So there's where we're at. That was with 4 zucchinis. I think 6 would get us just about perfect for a large size. All right, that's perfect. And this needs to go in the oven at 375 for about 15 minutes. And while I'm doing that, I'll put up the recipe that I ended up using. And then we're gonna go back in the oven for another 15 minutes. Well, there we go. Mine looks more like a zucchini bake than it does a cracker. But what I'm hoping is after we start freeze drying this and some more of that moisture comes out of it, it'll give you that crisp that we want. I'm gonna let this cool for a little bit before I do anything with it, other than I'm gonna take a paper towel and try and get a little bit of that extra oil off the top from the cheese. Just in case you want to try and store these are going to be short term, there's no doubt, but I have a feeling that these aren't going to last long enough around your house to store much anyway. Then I'm going to drop our dividers in here, and that way we can make our cracker portions. And then a lid, and these are off to the deep freeze. A couple things I want to mention: don't cook with the dividers inside of the tray. Wait till after they're baked, then smash them down. Preferably on like a lukewarm pan, because you don't want those to be hot. Obviously plastic and hot does not mix very well. Same thing with the lids. The other thing is be careful with your stainless steel pans for the freeze dryer when you're baking in them, because when you go from hot to cold, you can tend to warp the pan, and you don't want that. But if you go from extreme heat in the oven to extreme cold in a deep freeze, your pan's gonna want to twist. All right, well, in case you're wondering why my food is already in the freeze dryer, it's because I've already recorded this once, but I guess it didn't take, so I'm gonna tell you again. I only ended up doing one tray of the zucchini crackers because I didn't have 40-something zucchini to make this, and this is the first time I've made this, so I just want to see how it turns out. I filled up my other trays with some instant pot split pea soup and some rice. So the times for the final dry, or for the freeze drying time, is gonna be just a little off, not totally accurate. But before we see how the zucchini crackers turned out, take a minute to subscribe if you have not already. While you're there, click that bell to get notifications. That'll tell you every time a new video comes out. For us, that's Sundays at 8 a.m. And if you found this video helpful, or any of our videos, hit that thumbs up button. It really helps with YouTube, helps with the algorithm, helps it get it out to freeze dryers or people who would be interested in freeze drying. And if you have any questions about freeze drying, we have an awesome free resource. Two actually. One is a Facebook group, Retired at 40's Facebook group, and we also have a MeWe social media group. In both of those groups we have a great resource. It's just a little magnifying glass. You can search the entire group, search all of the previous threads that have been talked about, and really just get answers to any of the questions that you can possibly imagine. And any of the products you've seen in this video can be had at freezedryingsupplies.com. That's our store. If you're looking for a freeze dryer, you can use our affiliate link. It can be found in the description down below. And if you purchase a freeze dryer through that affiliate link, it helps us maintain our social media groups, helps us do giveaways, helps us with product development, and really just benefits the freeze drying community in general. And with that said, I'll see you guys in a second, and we'll have some freeze dried zucchini crackers. Well, that is it. Just about 40 hours, which isn't really going to make a huge difference because there is so much other stuff in here as well. Because we have a bunch of rice, we have a whole lot of split pea soup as well. I'm going to take my thermometer. We'll make sure that there's no cold spots anywhere. And those look pretty awesome. Let's give them a taste test. Pull our dividers out. We've got perfectly portioned crackers. I think I like the thin a lot better than the thick. I got some of it put on pretty thick in parts of this, so I'm going to try the thin ones because I think those are probably going to be a lot better. Those are good. Man, we could box and sell these things. These are so good. This is an awesome way to use up all that zucchini from your garden. If you're like me, it seems like you have 0 zucchini and then all of a sudden you have like 500 zucchini and you're just looking to try and get rid of them or find something to do with them. This would be a really good way. If you followed my recipe, you could use like 40 to 45 zucchini to fill up your large freeze dryer. So there you go. Awesome recipe. Thank you again, Peggy. This is a really good one. In the meantime, this is Retired at 40, reminding you to live life simple, and we'll catch you next week.